Welcome back to the podcast. Today we're talking about Relevance AI and how they just raised $24 million to help businesses build AI agents. And earlier this year, we talked about how 2025 is going to be the year of AI agents. Their operator was released by OpenAI. And since then, there hasn't been a whole lot of news on agent companies until this week. So we got multiple stories. We're going to cover relevance in this episode and talk about all the implications for that. But before we do, Jaden, why don't you tell them about our school community?
Yeah, so if you've ever wanted to grow and scale your business or career with AI tools, you may have heard of this if you listen to the podcast. If you're a longtime listener, Jamie and I have a school community. Every single week, we record a video essentially where we break down our favorite AI tool that we're actively using and how we're using it to grow and scale our personal businesses. We go over all the strategies we're using to grow our businesses. I have AI Box, a software company. Jamie is doing things in vacation rental. He's got 140,000 subscribers on YouTube. He uses AI for everything he's doing. So we break it down how you can use AI as either a side hustle or to grow and scale your actual business. It's $19 a month to join our school community. We have over 300 members, so you can ask questions in the community section. Everyone responds to one another. We have over 50 videos where Jamie and I are doing deep dives on software, techniques, tools, tactics, all of that good stuff. We have a whole bunch of different courses that you can take on there. So it's an incredible resource, and it's only $19 a month. In the future, we'll probably raise the price. But if you lock in the $19 now, it won't ever be raised on you. So you can check it out. There's a link in the description to the school community, school.com/AI hustle. All right, let's get into the episode today. This is a very interesting company, Relevance AI. And the reason why we wanted to bring this up is because, they have just raised a lot of money, right? They've just raised $24 million, and they're essentially helping businesses build AI agents. But a side hustle Jamie and I have often talked about is, when it comes to being an AI consultant, which we have an entire course in the AI in this AI hustle school community about. But when it comes to becoming an AI consultant, or, you that is listening, talking to either your employer, using this for yourself, using this within your own business, or consulting other businesses, there is so much potential in onboarding companies into using AI agents. And, a lot of people right now are like, oh, AI agents, they're not there yet. Like, they're not ready. You can't just unleash something to go and accomplish a lot of things. I actually believe that we are further along than we think. There is a lot of automation tools. We kind of call them AI automations at this point, so less people are calling them AI agents, but they're essentially doing some of the same things. The only difference is maybe they're not kind of like taking the initiative themselves right off the bat. But there's so much potential as far as making actual money using these things. And so, yeah, that's what I'm really excited about. But we'll talk a little bit about the company here. I guess, Jamie, what is getting you excited about this story?
Yeah, so kind of like you mentioned, the term operator agent, because OpenAI released their operator agent thing earlier this year. That's a really broad term. And so there's so many different tasks you can do on a computer. And so it was almost like too broad to start. So now what's happening is companies like Relevance are kind of going a little bit, they're niching down a little bit. So they're targeting businesses now with the specific intention of helping businesses be more efficient, replace some of their workforce, things like that. So they're kind of really targeting that market, which I think is interesting. Some of their customers already include Qualified, Activision, and Safety Culture. So I have some pretty big companies already on board here. As we covered last week, there are quite a few companies now who are, slowing their hiring or stopping their hiring and seeing if they can replace employees with AI. So there's really a huge market for this. And as we mentioned before, you want to stay on top of the best tools so that you could potentially recommend these to businesses if you are interested in consulting.
Yeah, I mean, I'm even in my own businesses, my podcast studio, and in all the production we do for this podcast and my others, in AI Box, a lot of our roles, it's not like humans have been completely eliminated, but like right now we have one particular code tool that we're using that I would say, talking to our developers today, this code tool with one of our developers has effectively replaced a designer and 3 developers. So one developer is doing the work of a designer and 3 developers. So like 4x the outputs with one AI tool. And this is what I feel like we're really seeing with a lot of them. But then it goes a step further when it becomes an agent. So this company, Relevance AI, I'll give you a little background on them because it's kind of interesting. They're based in both San Francisco and Sydney, so it's in Australia. They just did this $24 million raise. This is actually their Series B. So a year ago, they raised a Series A, and combined, they've raised $37 million. The Series B was led by Bessemer Venture Partners, so one of the top 20 VC firms in America. So like they're raising serious money, $37 million from serious companies. And they said that they are growing really rapidly. Apparently, they have about 40,000 AI agents that are currently registered on their platform. And they have some big companies that are their customers. There's Qualified, Activision, and Safety Culture are all their customers. But they're not the only company doing this, right? So I want to bring that up. Like, this is an interesting one because whenever someone raises a lot of money, we want to talk about it. But there's a lot of other platforms that are doing this. And these are actually good resources, if you're listening to this, for you to go out and start building AI agents and automations for companies that you consult with, that you work with, or within your own company. So I'll give you a couple other companies that are also doing this. There's one called Retail, one called Queen.ai, one called Smith OS, one called GUI.ai, CYKELAI, and then of course Microsoft's got a bunch of them. So this is definitely an interesting space. There's a lot of competitors, but this is what they specifically said about this. They said, we've seen incumbents like Salesforce make a big bet on the value of agents. Relevance enables training the agents to really specialize in the niche workflows of their organization. We're also tool and model agnostic, allowing our customers to leverage their entire tech stack across their entire business rather than just a single vendor's ecosystem. So I think more and more we're going to see this where people like a product like Relevance, maybe some of their competitors too, where essentially you can build an AI agent, right? So what does this mean? Like, let's say you're doing this in the marketing department. You're building a tool that's like, hey, every time I post a podcast, I want my AI agent to go download the podcast, make clips for it, post it on my social media, write the captions, write the descriptions, schedule them out. I want 3 a day for the next 3 days after every episode drops. And you get your agent to kind of run and go through that process. What's cool is when you're using these different tools that are model agnostic, you build a workflow, aka an agent that does that task for you. But if all of a sudden you're using ChatGPT to kind of write the descriptions, and all of a sudden you're like, man, ChatGPT is actually kind of so corny, and there's this new model, like let's say Grok kind of does this big update and it's like way better. You just go in the back end and you just switch what model it's using. So that ability to do that is so powerful. And that's why I think these third-party platforms are going to do a lot better than home-cooked things. Like ChatGPT's operator is cool, but it's only going to use OpenAI tools, and they're not going to always be the best at everything. So if you use these third-party softwares, whenever someone is getting better than OpenAI or Anthropic or Google at a certain thing, you just go switch the model. So that's what I think is these companies are going to kind of excel at.
Yeah, so with their Series B funding, Relevance introduced 2 new features. One is called Workforce, which is exactly what you're talking about. It's a no-code, multi-agent system designed to help non-technical professionals and engineers build specialized teams of agents. So let's say, OpenAI's image generator is amazing. So I want to have OpenAI make my thumbnails for all my YouTube videos. And then I want to have, a different AI crawl the video and come up with like a good summary and description and title for it, and then combining them together. So you can use there's multiple agents that are all each individually good at one thing working together. So that's super cool. Then they also have something called Invent that they released, which is a tool that lets users create AI agents using text prompts. So that sounds pretty cool too.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. That's essentially you sitting there and being like, hey, I want you to build an AI agent that, connects that reposts everything I post on Twitter onto LinkedIn and take a screenshot and post it. So and then you just kind of write out a prompt and then it builds it. Now, from my experience testing a lot of these platforms, like no one really completely builds that. They don't always have all the integrations, but we're getting really close. ChatGPT Operator, I think, was the closest I've tried. It can get a lot done. I think it's like 80% the way there, but that last 20% makes a big difference. Getting these things to kind of run completely autonomously. I would definitely give it a try if you're interested. And I think whenever OpenAI does their next update on that, that'll be the best product that can essentially
Yep.
run one of these things. But
Yep.
try this out. Relevance is a company that's raised a lot of money. They're doing some really impressive things. And like I mentioned, there are a lot of benefits to using these kind of third-party tools. I'm building my own AI agent workflow platform at aibox.ai. Right now, we have a product that's essentially just a playground where you could test all of the different AI models. You just pay like a $20 subscription and you can use all of them on one platform. And in the future, we're currently working on building out the whole workflow agent automation platform. We call it like an AI agent builder. So that's what we're working on right now, and hopefully that's coming to you soon. But right now, we do have the playground. It's exciting, and I think that companies like Relevance, companies like AI Box, my own, by having this kind of third party that makes it so you can build tools that are model agnostic is going to have a huge selling point, as these models are really like, I think it's very competitive. These things are neck and neck to who's the best at image, who's the best at audio, who's the best at, video, et cetera, et cetera. So I think it's pretty cool to play with a lot of this stuff.
Well, thanks for listening, guys. If you appreciated this episode or got any value out of it, be sure to leave us a review wherever you're listening. And also, again, check out the AI Hustle School community where you can connect with others and learn how to actually make money online and grow your business with AI. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.